The first speaker doing traditional welcome speech is Mollie Saffron. Mollie is an outstanding student and a Scholars Diploma recipient as well. She was a member of student government organization all 3 years and served as president this year. As president, she also served on principal's cabinet. Ultimately, what I remember about Mollie is that she's a very caring person who is always thinking of others and ways to help. In the fall, Mollie will be attending Penn State, majoring in elementary education. Ladies and gentlemen, Mollie Saffron.
Good evening, Mr. Paul Faulkner, School Board President, Mr. Asplin, Mr. Kaur, Mrs. Downs, Mr. Gamble, Mrs. Hoy, and Mrs. McMullen, members of the school board. Dr. Laws, Superintendent, Dr. Silvius, Mr. Kevin Munnelly, the best principal, Mrs. Christina Lang, house principal, faculty, family, and friends. And most importantly, a warm welcome to the graduating class of 2011. If you were to collect all the sweat and tears we as a class have put into our educations over the last 13 years, you would fill this stadium. It's scary to think about, just like these years have been scary to think about since the beginning. The first day of kindergarten was frightening to say the least. We feared every silly thing a 6-year-old could fear. What if the other kids don't like me? What if the teacher is actually a witch? And most importantly, what if there are no other Backstreet Boys fans in my class? But we made it through. Going to that first day of middle school, we feared every silly thing a 12-year-old could fear. What if the teachers really don't remember my name? What if my locker isn't decorated coolly enough? And most importantly, what if everyone discovers what a huge Backstreet Boys fan I am? But we made it through. And then came the first day of high school. We feared every silly thing a 15-year-old could fear. What if the seniors shove me into lockers? What if I have to eat lunch in the bathroom? And how will I ever make it through hour-and-a-half classes? But we made it through. We may have filled War Memorial with sweat and tears, but we know that every drop was worth it. All of the silly things we dreaded throughout the years have really just been a fear of drowning, a fear of being lost in this flood of sweat and tears and being left behind. But we've watched as friends and classmates have built life rafts for themselves. We've kept ourselves afloat with our sports, with our clubs, and our jobs, and our friends. Sure, high school is hard. Everyone sitting before me can attest to that. But we all have our own ways of surviving. We all have our own ways of keeping ourselves afloat. We've watched our classmates dive into their studies. We've watched them practice their music or sports with determination and effort. We've seen the laughter and smiles of friends being friends. These little things we've tied ourselves to have kept us secure, have pushed us past our fears and taken us to this place we weren't even thinking of 13 years ago on the first day of kindergarten. The 3-foot-tall versions of ourselves couldn't imagine the day when we would stand here poised and ready to become part of the working world, the service world, or furthering our education. The 3-foot-tall versions of ourselves couldn't imagine how quickly the day would come when we stand here poised on the edge of adulthood. And now, as we're about to receive these coveted diplomas, I stand before you in absolute terror of what is to come. What if my roommate is psycho? What if college classes are too hard? What if I lose touch with all my high school friends? I fear every silly thing an 18-year-old can. But I've been here all these years as we've grown, and I know, of myself and of all of you, that we will make it through. We're equipped with our life vests. We're ready to make the voyage. We're ready to float where we might and swim where we want, because wherever we go next year, whether it's to college or a career, an internship, or some mysterious country abroad, we are ready and we will make it through.